Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free of the 25 to the 30. To the outside. 40. Midfield. 40. 30 to the coast. 20. 15. Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Technically in the afternoon today on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're Zone Chicago. Simple. All right. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. Come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. If you're watching this on our mobile app, come on, man. Don't even tell me you didn't know we have a mobile app. Where'd you been, man? Where'd you been? Come on, we have a mobile app, so listen. You check it out at the bottom of the screen. So wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from, but wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows, well, we'll be back to 3 days a week in 2 weeks. But not only do you get our other live shows, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, what time is this? Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party. Yeah. Now, please don't tell me. Listen, if you're just following, man, we have our own Roku channel. So, here's what you do. If you have a Roku television in the house, do us this favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. Okay. Download it to your television. All right, you put it there next to Netflix, Hulu, Max, Prime. Oh, today's a Prime Day too. It's Prime Day. Yes. Yesterday and today were Prime Days. But I digress. Put it there next to all of them. Next to Stars, Showtime. Do it. You can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI. At Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, here's what you do. Facebook. You know what? I know what I did? I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer, follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AI. Man, we have a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive with us today. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up on the thread. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, that is what makes this the best. Well, today afternoon, but today morning show. Best morning show, Chicago sports morning show around. And that's you, baby. Your questions, comments, smart ass remarks. Bring them all, baby, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, don't sing it, baby. Just bring it. Let's check out who's in the chat because, man, the chat is jumping already. Already. I like it. My man Armando Emeterio, Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. Good morning, Junior. Patty Lara's in the house. Patty, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Lavette Lee is in the house. How you doing? My girl, my niece Monica. How are you, mommy? How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Cornelia Squalls, what up? That's what we're talking about. Be Smooth is in the house. Brian, how you doing, Papa? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Sean Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. There you go. It is afternoon on this hump day. Mr. Shode is in the house. Yeah, bear the F down, baby. Yes, I'm fired up just like you are. Just like you are. Plank is in the house. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate you tuning in. I love it. Let's see who else. Whew, listen. I don't know a lot about a lot. Oh boy. I didn't check it out. Let me see. Oh boy. Oh Jesus. Yeah, we'll get on Steve for that one. Oh, snap. Jay Grizz is in the house. Good morning, baby. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. James Ford. That's what I'm talking about. Man, this is what I'm talking about. I like it coming on in the afternoon. A little weird being this late, but it's all right. But listen, we got a great show. We have a great show for you at 1 o'clock. All right. So about 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 17 minutes, excuse me. All right. My man Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic is going to join us. We're going to talk Bulls, Summer League action, and their number one overall pick who's dunking on people, making posters. But then again, we got to remember, Summer League just doesn't count. Doesn't matter. But he's looking pretty good. I'll tell you what, he's looking pretty good. And you know what? And I like it. And I like it because it's about time that we have someone we can say, wow, I like where this is going. As opposed to, okay, we'll see. This kid has got a lot of moxie. This kid's got a little bit of attitude. You know, so I'm liking this a lot. I'm liking it a lot. So we're going to talk to Darnell Mayberry at 1 o'clock. What's this? At 1 o'clock. And then at 1:30, my man, Herb Howard from the Bigs, he's going to join us. All right, and we're going to talk Bears football. We have a lot of news. Rookies reported to camp yesterday. Veterans report Friday. Beautiful. Okay, so everybody who was crazy about it, remember, I said relax, don't worry about it. It's going to happen. And then as I gained more information, I thought they would probably hold out until Hard Knocks. However, all right, they can't. I found out that rookies that you can't even be in the building if you're not signed. So they waited till the last day. They waited till the day they had to show up. They showed up. They signed their contracts. We'll talk all about that with Herb. Okay, at 1:30. So get your questions. Oh, baby. I should. You know what? Oh, you know what? I can't do top of the afternoon headlines because House of Pain doesn't have a song called Top of the Afternoon. So you still got to do top of the morning. I'll reach out. All right. I'll reach out to House of Pain and tell them they need to do make a top of the afternoon song. Okay. We'll get to that. And I saw you, Michelle, with the vest jersey the other day at Sox Park. I like it. I like it a lot. That's good. Good stuff. So that's the lineup, baby. 1 o'clock, Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic talking Bulls and Mateus Buzelis, their first round pick, dunking on people. Then 1:30, Herb Howard from the Bigs is going to join us, talk baseball. I'll tell you what, I'm so fired up for Bears football talk. I don't even know what to say. I actually have a lot to say, but we'll see. But thank you guys. It's, Brandon Shuts in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, I like this afternoon stuff. I may start coming on in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out when it's all said and done. We'll see. A lot of changes here coming out here at Sports Zone Chicago, so that could be one of the changes. I got to have my tea. I got to have my tea. So, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning. Today is top of the afternoon, but it's still top of the morning. Whoa, you caught me. You caught me. The first top of the morning topic. Let's see, which way do we go? 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 I know which way we're going. Right here. Yes, baby. Yes. The Chicago Sky. Oh. Steve-O. Chicago Sky with a big win yesterday over the Las Vegas Aces. Wow. In Vegas, 93-85. Angel Reese restarted her double-double streak. He 13 points, 10 rebounds. Kennedy Carter, 34 points. Marissa Mabry, 15 points. And our girl, Camila Cardoso, 6 points, 8 rebounds. Great game by the girls yesterday. Had a big lead. Took a big lead and then had to hang on at the end. Some people were talking a little ish. Oh, they almost gave it away and this and this. Not just that. You're dealing with the defending champs. You're dealing with the defending champs. I mean, it's not like you're dealing with some busters. You're dealing with the Las Vegas Aces. Okay? This team was built. It's like a super team. Like a super team. And let's not get it twisted. So just because the Sky didn't run away with it, that doesn't mean that they're not. People are complaining, but I guess we always want to find something to complain about. But the fact that went into Vegas, okay, beat the defending champs. Now our record is 10-14. Now, I'd like for us to get to the 500 level, 500 mark. That would be huge. Huge. Uh-oh, let me see something. I don't know. So that would be huge for me. Oh, okay, yeah. Because it's nice the double doubles, but we need wins. We're 10-4, still in the playoffs. I know, but that's not the point. The point is we need to start ascending at this particular point. All right, we need to start getting better. We need to see. Look at this. We need to see some improvement. We need to see some chemistry. We need to see something exciting. I mean, we're third in the Eastern Conference. I mean, we're one game behind Indiana, a half game. They're 11-14. We're 10-14. But man, we gotta. I think at this particular point, we're 24 games in. Is that what it is? 24 games in. Like we should have an identity. We should have an identity. And I don't know if we do. I want Camila Cardoso a little more aggressive. I want to see her get double-digit rebounds every game. Mama, you're 6'7". You're 6'7". All right? you need to fight. You need some grit. You need some, and you're a big body. You're bottom heavy. You got thick thighs, thick legs, thick ass, the whole nine. You can get people out of the way. You're a grown ass woman. You're a lot stronger than many. Not all, many, because you're dealing against grown ass women now. But I need better rebound numbers from her. Just my opinion. Just saying. But I think this whole offseason, when the season's over, will benefit her greatly. But I digress. The next top of the morning topic. Yeah, baby, the Bears rookies reported to Hallis Hall yesterday. The vets will report on Friday. I'll tell you what, we are fired up. If you're not fired up, I don't know what's wrong. What your problem is, man. We're fired up. It is beginning of a new era here for Chicago Bears football. And, wherever you stood on during the Civil War, at this point, still a Bear. If you're still a Bears fan, you can still be a fan of a player, and that's fine. Because I'll still be a Justin Fields fan. But I'm still a Bears fan first and foremost. And I'm looking forward to it starting. I'm looking forward to it starting. This is exciting. Man, I can't even tell you how exciting it is. And keeping it with this topic, the next top of the morning topic, man, the Bears rookies, man, peep this. They signed. Caleb Williams signs his deal. 4 years, $39.5 million, plus a fifth-year option, a team option for a fifth year. It's fully guaranteed. His 4-year contract is fully guaranteed. So he's getting all $39.5 million of that. And a $25.5 million signing bonus. So my question, again, what was the holdup? Why did it have to last until yesterday to get done? Or was it just for the drama? Drama for your mama. Is that what it was? I don't know. But they got it done. And right before Caleb news was announced, Romy rocking everywhere. He signed a 4-year, $22.7 million deal, and that is fully guaranteed. That is fully guaranteed. So you're looking at a team for the next 4 years, probably 5, because they'll probably pick up these guys' options. This year, I don't think they're in a Super Bowl or NFC title window. They could get there, but a lot would have to go right. A lot of other stuff for teams would have to go wrong. I think they make the playoffs. But I think next year, in 25, is their window where they can start competing, start getting to the NFC Championship game. And who knows what happens from there. You have a whole, you're going to have to re-sign Tevin or decide what to do with Tevin. But Braxton Jones is going into year 3. Okay, you got to sign him, but he's not going to get a lot of money. He's a 4th-round pick. He's getting to his above average plateau that I think he's going to hit. You can give him a nice little deal. Nothing too crazy. All right, you have Darnell Wright. All right, he's going into, is this his 3rd year or second year? Anyway, Darnell Wright, you got him for another couple of years. So this offensive line is good. You just signed, although you did sign Bates for a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So this offense needs a couple more pieces, and 1 or 2 more pieces, and we're good. Receiving core set, tight ends are set, running backs are set, quarterback obviously set. Now's the time for us to start making some noise. Roma Dunze, man, I am so happy. And for those of you who want to know, either the upcoming dates, July 16th, that was yesterday, the rookies report to camp. All right, July 19th, it's Friday, the vets report. The vets report to camp. August 1st, the Hall of Fame game. All right, August 10th is the second preseason game. Remember, we get 4, other teams get 3. All right, we're at Buffalo. The third one, the Bengals, August 17th, are coming here. The fourth one, we're going, which is August 22nd. Bears are going to KC. And then the day we are all waiting for, that's what you get, like a 2-week break. 22, yeah. 9, 17, damn, 2.5-week break. Game 1, September 8th. September 8th. Whew. Titans come to the lakefront to battle the Bears. Those are all the dates we need, baby. Those are all the dates we need. And I'll tell you what, I am fired up because football season is here. I told you, if you follow me on Facebook, and please make sure you follow me on Facebook, okay? This was the last weekend without football until February. Last weekend without football. How long the Bears go, I don't know. But football, we're going not the last weekend until the Super Bowl. We have football every weekend from now on. I like it. Shawn Walls, yes. Brandon Schutz, good morning. I think I said hello, but it doesn't matter. Good morning. Good morning, Papa. Yes. Good call, Cornelius. They just began to start Kennedy Carter. She's nasty. She's nasty. Boy, she is nasty. I mean, she led the way yesterday with 34 points. I'll take it. I like it. I like it a lot. She's a dog. She is a dog. I like her a lot. Aunt Moss, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. Sorry, I had to throw a curveball for you. I had to start late today, but I appreciate the love and the support. You following me to the afternoon. Let me see. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Whew. Another good cup of tea. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic. We're going to talk a little Bulls basketball. Notice how I emphasize the Bulls basketball. Why? No reason. No reason in particular. Just decided to do it. Are we finally stepping into the 21st century, the new wave of NBA basketball with Matas? And I don't want to screw up his name, so I have to Buzelis. Matas Buzelis. We're going to find out. We'll talk to Darnell Mayberry on the other side. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning, in the afternoon edition on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel, you can find us at Sports Zone Chicago. And on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Chi. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Angel Reese with the 15 double-doubles in a row and the record for that, and immediately shot clock down to 4. Evans recognizing, he swatted Asia.
Oh my goodness.
And a 3-on-2 push. Plum down the middle, cannot get it. And a 4-point lead for Chicago. Help D on Reese. Carter between the legs and sticks it. Allen baseline drive and somehow squeezes that one up and in. 2:20 left in the game. It's a 3-point lead for the Sky. Carter on the attack.
Ooh, that girl's nicey. Nicey. I like it. Man, Cornelius, you were right. What if they started her from jump? Whew. She got that grit. She got that. Kennedy Carter, guys, those clips courtesy of the WNBA. Those are the girls last night. The Sky with a big win in Sin City. I was very surprised. I mean, the reigning champs, it's a loaded squad, and the girls went in there, handled business, were able to stave them off and hold them off. Because the girls came back, the champs came back. You just can never count out the heart of a champion, and they came back, and our girls were able to fend them off and hold them off to get the dub. Right? Hopefully now they build on that. I told you earlier, let's get to 500. We're 10 and 14. All right, let's get to 500, and then we can go from there. All right. But my first guest, man, I'm fired up to talk to this guy. He's a good friend of the program, and he's been rocking with us for a while now. You can find him on Twitter, or he covers the Bulls for The Athletic. And you can find him on Twitter at Darnell Mayberry. Guys, let's welcome back our guy, Darnell Mayberry. Darnell, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
How you doing, Shawn?
Man, I am doing great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you asking. How you doing, Bubba? Everything good?
Can't complain. Just got back from Vegas. Late last night? It's there, man. I think the highest I saw it was like 113, 114. So you can think it's hot out here in the city this summer in July, but it's nothing like out there in Vegas. So I'm happy to be back in the city.
So you're back for the 95 and humid, right? You're happy about that?
I'll take this. Hey,
really?
You haven't felt hot until you felt that hot Vegas heat blowing in the wind on you, man. That's miserable. You don't even want to go outside.
Man, I've been there plenty of times. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I would take, I just realized it looks like it's funny. Like it looks like you're Caleb Williams with 4 years, 39 million, and I'm Roma Dunze. That's funny. But yeah, dude, that humidity is what gets me. My goodness, it gets me. And it's, man, when I start sweating like a sweater, man. It's, you gotta walk around with that towel over your shoulder. Well, let's talk about your trip to Vegas. The Bullies, all right. The summer league is in full swing, and Matis. I didn't. Let me hold on. I don't want to miss it. Buzelis, right? Local kid, right? Talk to me about him. He's a guy that they didn't believe. They didn't anticipate him being there when they were expected to draft. He was there. They're like, damn. And this guy so far, give me your assessment because I like the kid. I from what I've seen, I like the kid. He's got a little swag about him. He's got a little, and he's happy to be playing for his hometown team. Your thoughts on Matas Buzelis?
He's got a lot of dog in him. You got to give him that. He goes out there, he attacks the basket just relentlessly, whether he's going after the offensive boards or he's trying to get a bucket for himself. And I like that he's got versatility as well, where he's a good dribbler. He can pass it and set up his teammates, and he can shoot it a little bit. He's got to obviously work on the jumper, but he can shoot it a little bit. And so he's got the fundamentals that you want to see in a player. And obviously the size, Shawn, that's the thing. He's got the length to be able to be an impact on both ends. You're seeing him go out and guard, try to guard at Summer League, at least in that setting, 1 through 5. And he said that that's one of his goals. So I'm excited to see if he's able to do it actually at his size. And he's guarding on the perimeter and inside. So I like what I see of him. It is only Summer League, so we got to be careful. But
take that with a grain of salt.
but he's off to a good start.
Yeah, but there's certain things you can tell for the most part. Like you can tell. I mean, I like the fact that you said he's aggressive. He's going out, and to me, that's important. All right, to me, that's important when you see a guy who's happy to be out there, who's aggressive, and who's not, I wouldn't want to say intimidated, but somewhat timid. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. But then again, it is only against rookies, the younger players. You're not going up against vets. But hopefully that mentality that he has transfers over when the preseason and the regular season start, because that's and hopefully he can rub off on P. Will, but like, hey, homie, this is how you get offensive rebounds. Here's how you do it.
Funny, Shawn? The moment, and I didn't even know Matas Buzelis before they drafted him. That's not my specific role to follow those guys coming up. My job is to follow the Bulls and around the NBA. But doing the research before even having to dig into him, I said, did they just draft this guy to light a fire under Patrick Williams? And some people laughed at me that night. And now he goes out there and starts showing all of this assertiveness in Summer League, and that's the exact takeaway that people are having. I find that funny that now people are looking at Patrick Williams and saying, hey, that's what it looks like, young man.
And they're saying it because they know he has those capabilities. If he didn't have those capabilities, we wouldn't be on him so much. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't be harping on him and really putting the pressure on him because we've seen what he can do when he's motivated. It just has to be consistent. So now, does this mean we're stepping into the 21st century of basketball now with, kind of like a positionless basketball? We've got a big who can shoot, who can rebound, who can dribble, basically another Tony Kukoc for all intents and purposes. Are we starting to change? Is Acme really starting to really form this like his image, like the Denver Nuggets, the last team he built?
They're a long way from that, Shawn. We got to slow down on that. This kid Matas is, a skilled player, but 19 years old. I was told in Vegas by someone that he might be 3 years away. And so
that was my next question. Okay, good.
You got to be patient with this young man. Again, Summer League, preseason, regular season, playoffs. We got to watch him develop and see if he can take those next steps at every level. And he's got a long way to go. I described him to someone as a mix between herky-jerky and very robotic.
Okay.
If you watch how he plays, he's kind of mechanical, but that can work to his favor because he keeps the defense off balance with his herky-jerky ability. And so I think he's got a lot of tools, and he obviously wants it. He comes out, he talks trash. He announces his presence. He lets you know that he lets you know that he's on the court. And so that's the type of energy that you want to see in a young player. And I think that he's got it.
And that's great to see, guys. We're joined by my guy Darnell Mayberry, who covers the Bulls for The Athletic, talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I like the trash talk. I do, because it puts a target, it puts a spotlight on, and you can't run from it. All right, when you start talking, people are going to start talking back, and people start to see you. They're going to start watching, like, oh man, he's talking trash. Let's see what he does. That puts a spotlight on you, and I think, and that with that spotlight comes pressure, and I like that. I like that. So my question to you that I'm going to ask, I know you just mentioned it, but how soon? All right, 2 years, 3 years, because he's only 19, so he hasn't even hit the weight room yet. You know, he might not even be growing. He might grow another inch or so. You know what I mean? At that point, hell, Scotty grew what 5 inches in college. You know what I mean? So there's a chance for him to grow even an inch or two taller and fill into his body. How long will you think before we start saying, all right, dude, you got to start showing out? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Because I like him, and I hope it sooner than later, but give me your assessment.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is dependent on what happens with the Bulls roster. If they can move Nikola Vucevic, that's going to open up a lot more minutes and opportunity for some of the young guys like Patrick Williams, the new guy they got from Indiana, Jalen Smith, and obviously Modest Buzelis. And if they keep Vooch, I don't see where Modest is going to be able to play. There's going to be a lot of people in the front court looking for minutes. Julian Phillips is another one who's out there in the summer league along with Modest, and he's showing that he can carve out a role as an energy guy. His shot is improved, but he struggled the other night from three. But they got a lot of young guys who are eager to get into that lineup. If Modest cracks it as a rookie, Shawn, I'll be shocked. But if they move Vooch before the season or at the deadline, that opens a whole lot more opportunities for Modest.
What about this? And it's been brought up by some people, and I thought of it right away because I've seen other people. I've suggested other people in this role. Is there any way on God's green earth that you bring Vooch off the bench and you'd be a bucket with that second unit?
I highly doubt it. I've been told, Vooch is wondering what's going on with the roster, and he might be the next domino to fall. And so if you're then asking him to come off the bench, that might be a big ask for someone, 33, 34 years old, former all-star and well-respected center in this league. So I would think Vooch would have a hard time doing that at this stage of his career.
Okay, let's talk about the main man. All right, the Max man, Mad Max himself, Zach LaVine. Give me your thoughts on his situation. They obviously are trying to move him. How soon do you think they will trade him? Do you think they get him done before the season, or do you think he's got to come out and say, all right, show you I'm healthy, show I'm explosive, show I'm this, I'm that, and then you think they can move him by the deadline?
We've seen some trades recently. I think Harden recently got traded well into the start of the season. And so, we've seen a precedent for this happen where, a high salary star player may not get moved in the summer, and it might go into late September, early October even. And so that could potentially happen. I just don't see the fit. You got a lot of questions with Zach between the contract, the fit, the injury that he's coming off of, the foot injury. So there's a lot of questions that teams would have. And also the Bulls, in the meeting that we had with the front office out there in Las Vegas, they don't want to just take on bad contracts or bad stuff
situations.
To get off of LaVine. They don't want to take on a bad deal to get off of Zach LaVine's contract. So there's a lot of factors working against the Bulls in terms of finding a potential trade partner.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We got Josh Giddey. All right, we got this guy here. Does that signal the end for Lonzo Ball? Have you seen Lonzo? Did you see Lonzo Ball? Have you seen him work out? How close to the Lonzo Ball that we signed is he? Is he going to be? Do you expect him to be 60%, 80%, 90% when he comes back? Because this team is completely different when he's running the show. When he's not, and then we got to figure out the difference between a healthy Lonzo Ball and then where he's at. Like I said, 85, 90, 90% Lonzo Ball. How effective is that? Is that Lonzo Ball? So what do you think they do with him then?
They expect him to come back and play next season. It sounds a little bit to me like the optimism is waning a little, but that's just me reading tea leaves. It looks from the videos that are going viral of Lonzo that like he can go out there and contribute. And so to me, I believe that we'll see it in October. When training camps start in late September and Lonzo Ball is on the floor and we see him in a preseason game or the start of the regular season, that's when I believe Lonzo Ball will be in the lineup and contributing to this team. Until then, in my mind, it's just, viral videos of him in light workouts.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I said, this team is different, man. And I like what he's done, when he was healthy. It was just a very efficient, smooth flowing team. But then again, that was 2.5 years ago.
Exactly. How much can you expect him to be the same after 2.5 years? You asked about the percentage. I'd be surprised if he's 60% of what he was when we last saw him. I mean, Lonzo Ball was a damn good player.
Yeah, he was.
It may still be, but he's got to show it.
Yeah, and then you got to figure out the ramp up period, like how confident he's going to be. It's like coming off an ACL. You know what I mean? Well, the first year sometimes it takes a while, all right, for you to get comfortable because you might be 100%, but mentally, that's the trick. Mentally, you got to I know my knee's not going to give. I can do all the stuff that I did before. He might not be at that point, even if he is 100%. He might not be there mentally, and that's more important than being there physically. So. I hope so, man, because, so what does Josh Giddey bring us then? I mean, is that the dude to take over for him or what's the situation with Josh Giddey? Because, he's on the roster now. And is that just the insurance policy or is he bumping out Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, I mean, he's in the same mold of Lonzo, except for, without the 3-point shot. And so that's
except for that shooting thing.
Difference. Except for that, that's a little minor thing that you got to have to do in 2024. So he's a playmaker, and that's what the Bulls front office loves. They love them a playmaker. They went out and got the Lonzo Ball deal done with the Pelicans, and now they brought in Giddey from the Thunder, and so they are clearly targeting a pass first playmaker who can make everyone else around him better, and they really truly believe that is an important component. And we've talked about it, for years, Shawn, how they're going to get this point guard. And so they're making these attempts and taking these big swings. If Josh Giddey develops, it'll look genius, as Alex Caruso is starting to be on the tail end of his career and the Bulls were going nowhere with him. Josh Giddey, 21-year-old, 22-year-old on the upswing and has a lot of promise and potential left. So it could be a great move, but they clearly are targeting a lead first guard who can pass and get everyone involved.
So, I mean, you put stuff out in the universe and things happen for a reason. Like we got screwed over by the marketing thing. Is it? You think it could be our turn now? The guy finally develops because he came in at 18, right? 19 years old, and he's only 21. Giddey, so he's not even close to his prime yet. He's not even close. So you talk about he got to be 23, 24 is where he's really comfortable. Man, that's 3-4 years. 3 years away. Do we have that time to wait for him? And do you think that this front office can develop him because they really haven't developed? I don't know. I shouldn't say really haven't because Kobe is developed under them. We can't deny that. Ayo's developed under them rather nicely. All right. So do you think this is another guy that they say, we're just going to develop him, and now we have another good guard?
Yeah, it's possible. But then the other question, Shawn, is how much is it going to cost? You got to remember he's eligible for a contract extension. And if they get the deal done, great, you got him. But then what then does that do for your ability to build out the roster? You just gave Patrick Williams the money. You obviously can't get off of Zach's money. Ayo Dosunmu is coming up. These are all issues that you got to think about as you're building your team. And so that's why so many people were surprised they didn't get a draft pick from the Thunder.
Right. They only had 15.
Yeah, not only that, but also now you got to pay Giddey. And so if you get him at a good number, that's a great deal. But if he wants, to be paid like a superstar, which he is not yet, then that's another conversation.
So many different things. Well, let's go to my man, P. Will. All right, this guy got the bag. When they re-signed him, I was like, is this a bizarre world? Am I dreaming? Because what the hell is this? So obviously they really, really, really believe in this kid, and they feel they can develop him. Like we've seen it, and that's the crazy part. first of all, it just seems like I've said this, like I could just go back 3 years and say the same stuff. We've seen him dominate Summer League. We've seen him dominate when Zach and DeMar were not there. We've seen him dominate in preseason. We just don't see it consistently. What the hell do we got to do? This guy got to do? What does Acme got to do to draw it out of him? Like, dude, this dominant dude where you're dunking on people and actually rebounding and actually playing defense, I need it all the time, not just 4 or 6 minutes a game.
Yeah, we talked to him a little bit out in Vegas, Shawn, and I loved what he said when I asked him about the contract and how much additional clarity it provides him going into next season. He said, quote, "For me, the work doesn't stop. For me, the way I think about it, it's more work," end quote. So I love the response. Now we got to see it on the court. I mean, I do believe Patrick Williams looks at himself as a great player. I believe in his potential, but he's got to go out there and show it consistently, as you said, and that's the next step for him. But I do think that having the contract can clear his head a little bit. You know, Patrick Williams is a big overthinker. He's a perfectionist. Okay. He wants to go out there and do everything on the court right, and he's hard on himself. That's the biggest thing. It's like he can't just make a mistake and move on. He's beating himself up, and he's got to learn to move on and not be so hard on himself, because that's impacting him on the next trip, the next possession. So if he can figure that out, the mental component where he can move on to the next play and continue to be aggressive night in, night out consistently, the Bulls got themselves a great deal. I don't think that's bad money for Patrick Williams if he can continue to shoot the ball as he has and defend at a high level.
Dude, that dude is frustrating. And he's still not even, like, he's what, 23, 22, 23? Like, he's still a kid. Like, man, dude, and he hasn't even fully developed. He hasn't even grown into his big old body, that big frame that he has. You know what I mean? And again, it's like, all right, is this another Lauri Markkanen situation where, you know, they cut bait too soon? Well, it doesn't seem like it because they just signed him. So maybe they believe, like, okay, we cut Markkanen too soon. We got rid of Max, the dude from Payless, a 3-point shooter. I can't. And he was with Miami for a while, but you know, we got rid of him.
Max Strus.
Yeah, I was gonna say Max Fried, but no, Max Strus.
Yeah.
And these guys we had on the roster, and they didn't develop them. Hopefully this is a situation where because they believe in him, he does develop. Because man, this dude, like we said, we've seen him play at a very, very high level, just wasn't consistent. So let me ask you for this big one, dude. So DeMar's gone. To me, that hurt. Partly because I have a nice fresh DeMar DeRozan T-shirt that I haven't worn. I can't.
Collector's item now. So look, it's a collector's item, Shawn.
I mean, it's fresh. Like, you know, dude, it's fresh. Like, I can't wear it unless I wear some brand new ones. You know what I mean? Like all white ones and this, then it'd be tight. Like, oh, where you going to barbecue? Like, yep, you know it. But he's gone now. All right. What void does that leave in that locker room?
Great question. It's a huge void because now you have a roster with 9-10 guys under 25 years old, and you got Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic as the older guys. Torrey Craig is still on the roster. He's throwing alley-oops to himself off the backboard, so I'm not sure what kind of leadership you're looking at there. And then Zach LaVine, obviously he's in trade rumors, and so there is a void in leadership without DeRozan, and you got to throw in Alex Caruso as well. That might be something the Bulls might want to take a look at as they're trying to develop these young guys. Unless Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Patrick Williams step up as leaders, then you have a void that you need to fill. I believe Kobe and Ayo are capable of it. We're still talking about bringing along Pat, so Kobe and Ayo probably are going to be the two leaders on that team next year as currently constructed.
Dude, that was man. We are here, bro. Because that was going to be my next question. Which young bucks step up? And the cool part about it is that Kobe's not even in his freaking prime. I mean, what's he, 23, 24?
Right.
You know what I mean? He's about to step in his prime. Ayo, they're about the same age, right? Because I went for 3 years. He went to, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to see them. especially Kobe. But do you think Kobe can handle it? Like Kobe to me just seems like I don't see him as a true leader, like this as a vocal leader. All right. I mean, remember, DeMar took him under his wing, him and Io. You know, we've seen Kobe develop, you know, so I don't know. Do you feel strongly about either one of those guys really taking the mantle as the leader of this team?
Yeah, I feel really strongly about Kobe and Io, but Kobe specifically because, first of all, we've seen it with Io. He's taken DeMar DeRozan aside. He's taken Nikola Vucevic aside, Andre Drummond aside, live during games and told him to calm down. So for him to do that as a young player, that's incredibly impressive. But Kobe is also vocal. He'll also get on guys. He has the respect of everyone in the locker room. He had it with DeRozan. He still has it with LaVine and Vucevic as well. But the thing about Kobe is he's had so many different roles during his time with the Bulls in the NBA is that there's nothing that can be thrown at him at this point that I don't think he can overcome. And so when you give Kobe a challenge, I believe Kobe White is going to accept the challenge and then excel at the challenge because that's what he's had to do throughout his career. He's played multiple positions. He's played in multiple roles. He's come off the bench. He's been a starter. He's done a lot of different things in a short amount of time. And yet he runner-up. He finished runner-up in most improved player voting last year. That tells you that guy there's something special in his DNA where he doesn't care what comes at him. He's going to find a way. And so I'm looking at him as the leader of the team next season.
I agree with you because of one thing that you didn't say. And I think you actually said it a few times before, is all the trade rumors that were around him, his entire tenure here in Chicago. He's going to be packaged with this. He's going to be packaged with that. This team wants him. This team, all those trade rumors that were circulating around him and his stay here in Chicago, he put that noise to the side and he just kept getting better. And to me, that shows mental fortitude. And that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking in a player. Being a former player, that's the first thing I look at. Like, how tough are you mentally? I don't give a damn about how you are physically. Guys, you can get an elbow to the chin and like, oh, I'm done. It hurt me. I get up and I want to see you get up and get mad and go to work. And those rumors and all those things around him and him coming through and developing to the point where he should have been an all-star this year. I think he well deserved. But I hope that he's able to take that next step. Hope he's able to be a leader because I love him. But the last question I have before I let you go, man, I always love when you come on, man, and I appreciate your time. Two more things, because I got to ask you about your other thing as well. Who's going to protect the rim? Who's going to get us rebounds? Those are kind of important.
Yeah, defensive rebounding could be a little bit of an issue. Jalen Smith is a really good offensive rebounder, but losing Andre Drummond hurts. That really hurts. But the Bulls believe in Josh Giddey. He's an excellent rebounder at the lead guard spot, and so that will help their team tremendously. Just the fact that their lead guard can grab off the board and immediately push, and so that's going to be a big benefit of bringing on Josh Giddey in a roundabout way. Like you wouldn't think about rebounding from the point guard position, but that is one of the pros and skill sets of Josh. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But rebounding, that's a good question, Shawn. I mean, they've got some shot blocking issues. They've got some interior size issues that they still need to address.
Man, Darnell, great stuff, Papa. I really appreciate it. Guys, he's Darnell Mayberry. Do me a favor. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work and your other stuff, Money Talks 101. Talk to me a little bit about that before we let you go.
Yep, I'm writing about personal finance in addition to the Chicago Bulls and the NBA. So I write about my journey when I used to be bad with money and how I've become a lot smarter with money, and teaching my 10-year-old daughter, Parker, how to do the same early so that she doesn't have to be bad. She can immediately be good in life and be off to a great start. So
avoid the pitfalls that you hit.
Yeah. Huh? I write about that exactly. And I'm helping other people do the same. And it's growing, Shawn. I appreciate you asking. We're in, last I checked, 36 states and 30 countries. So it's growing, and I'm very proud of it. And so anyone that can relate to spending money, earning money, investing money, and just trying to be smarter with it, Money Talks is for you. And then obviously I'm at the Bulls. My Bulls coverage is at The Athletic. theathletic.com, and now the NewYorkTimes.com. Man, they bought us. Yeah, they bought us, and so our links now say NYT. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And the website is the one on the screen right there. Is that correct?
Yep, that's my personal finance newsletter, blog, and podcast. moneytalks101.substack.com.
Dude, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Great. Thanks for coming on, Papa. I love talking hoops with you.
Anytime, Shawn. Take care.
Likewise. Guys, that's Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic talking Bulls basketball and also his finance thing. And we need this, especially people of color. A lot of times our parents have lived in survival mode. All right. And that's how we think. All right. And we have to do a much better job sometimes of coming out of survival mode into thrive mode. And I think it's a phenomenal thing. He's been doing this for over a year now with his daughter. Money Talks 101. MoneyTalks101.com, where he talks about finance. So we all know. So a lot of people of color don't know how to invest. They don't. Some do. Okay. And that's the thing that our parents wanted for us, is to learn how to invest and not live paycheck to paycheck or live in a survival mentality anymore, but in a thriving mentality. And he's doing a great thing with that in educating people. And that's awesome. 30 states, 30 countries. And dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's freaking awesome. So, but that was my guy, Darnell Mayberry. So we're going to switch gears though. Well, after we take a break, take a quick break. On the other side, man, my man's in them. Herb Howard's going to join me. We're going to talk a little Bears football. Rookies are in town. They're back, baby. The boys are back in town. Cue up the bus boys. And we're going to talk some Bears football with my guy, Herb Howard. So don't go anywhere, folks. It's going to be a quick break. About a minute or so. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys.
Philly to another at the plate as Bryce Harper. Look for Bryce to be a little aggressive here in the first inning. Harper swats a base hit down the line. Quan over to cut it off. Ohtani chugs into third. Harper's to second with a 2-out double. So Bryce Harper in his first at-bat in the All-Star game in a long time has a double. 2 strikes, takes this pitch away and goes away. Just kind of part of that. Up the middle. Okay, nice diving stop by Trey.
Are you kidding me? Surgery, and he's hitting 316, 30 homers. It's just incredible.
Hits this ball hard, way back to right field. Soto doesn't even move. Ohtani has.
Man, this is a $600 million man. Not even a $6 million man. That was Steve Austin back in the 70s. That was a $6 million man. This is a $600 million man. Woo, Charlie. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips, courtesy of Fox. That was the MLB All-Star game yesterday from Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. And man, that would have been a cool thing to see. They look the celebration and the surrounding things that they had for down there for the MLB All-Star game looked pretty dope. It looked pretty dope. Like I said, they just do it bigger in Texas, and it was fun. Shohei showed out. You know, my White Sox were represented by Garrett Crochet. He got on a bump. Man, perfect inning. Got a K. Shota Imanaga, for all you Cub fans. He showed out 1 inning. Perfect inning, 3 innings with a strikeout. Good stuff by the representatives from the Chicago baseball teams in their 1 inning each, and they just look dope. So hopefully our baseball teams can kind of turn it around. The Bears, at least, I mean, the White Sox at least get a little because they are the worst team in baseball. Love-hate relationship with those guys because that's my favorite team, and they're pissing me off right now. But I digress. And I don't give a damn about the Cubs. So, but I still talk about them in a professional manner. Anyway, my next guest is a good friend of the program, and I'm fired up to talk with him because I should have had Steve cue that up to the Bus Boys. Bring it back, baby. The boys are back in town. The rookies arrived yesterday, and on Friday, the vets. And a couple people have signed. So we're going to talk to him about these signings. How fired up and excited is he as a Bear fan and a beat writer as well? You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. Guys, it's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Shawn, what's happening? Good, brother, man. How you doing?
I am wonderful, man. Thank you for asking. I'm fired. I'm getting more fired up by the moment. More and more fired up, dude. I'm telling you, it's
football
crazy.
Time, man.
I posted last week or the other day, and like last weekend was the last weekend without football. Yeah. Last till February. Yeah. February. I'm like, I like it a lot, man. So the big news, Papa. We saw the big news. We were wondering what's going to happen. Yeah. And the first news we got first thing came across the wire. Rome Odunze signed a 4-year, $22.7 million deal, fully guaranteed. The first round, 9th overall pick, and we were excited. And that was like, okay, we got one down. How soon is the other one going to fall? Well, what about an hour and a half later, give or take? His boy's like, I got you. Don't even trip. I was just playing. I'm just playing with you. Caleb Williams signed the 4-year, $39.5 million fully guaranteed contract. 25.5 is a signing bonus. Obviously, both of those contracts have a 5th-year option because they're first-round selections. Give me your thoughts on the signing. Did you expect it to go like right up to when they got there, or would you expect? What did you expect? And tell me how you feel about them finally being in camp.
Yeah, I was never too concerned about it, to be honest with you, Shawn. I mean, as we all know, these contracts are slotted now. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room in terms of what the money's going to be. So you're talking about different details and little things like that may take a little bit of time to iron out. But at the end of the day, I didn't think there was any chance that he was going to miss any time in terms of, training camp practices or anything like that. So I was never really concerned about it. They got it done, and now it's just time to play ball.
I'm really excited, and I'm not surprised it was all fully guaranteed. Like you said, it's slotted. Like once we know what his contract, once the contract was made last year for the first number overall pick, you know exactly what this year's going to get because it's like a 3 or 5% increase per year, just to go up inflation. So you couldn't argue the money. You couldn't argue the years because that's collectively bargained 4 years plus a 5th year by the team. So it might have just been like language there are, what happens if I get hurt? Do I get all of it? So I
did see a report. My bad. I did see a report that was like his team was asking the Bears to agree not to franchise tag him, at any point. I guess when the contract is up, the Bears didn't agree to that, but that may have been one of the things that his team was kind of holding out for. But at the end of the day, it was small stuff. They was gonna get it done. I didn't see any way where he was gonna come in and not, report on time and start missing practice. It's not a good time, right? He's been anointed the starter, right? He's gonna be your day one starter. You got a new system, you got a new OC, you got a lot of new players in key positions. This offense needs every chance they can get to kind of gel, to kind of come together as much as possible. So I need all the reps that they can get. I didn't see any chance of him, holding out or not being there come Saturday.
Thank goodness, because I was excited about it. I'm really, really looking forward to having everybody in camp. The other JJ gets signed, JJ McCarthy. I don't know if he was one of the other ones. First round picks. There were 5 first round picks that were unsigned. We had 2 of them, so we had two off the board. There were 3 left, and I don't really follow Minnesota or whoever else was unsigned. So I'm happy. I'm happy as a pig and slop. I'm happy with this. Talk to me about the Hall of Fame game and the beginning of how the Bears have an extra preseason game and how that could help Caleb.
Yeah, I think it helps just because, like I was saying, they learned the new system. They got a rookie quarterback. He's got to try to gel with a new center, but also gel with all these different pieces and weapons around him. It's just going to take some time. I know that on paper it all looks good. It looks good to have, Keenan Allen and DJ and Rome and Cole and Gerald Everett and DeAndre Swift. All that looks good on paper. But these guys still got to come together. You still got to get this offensive line together. You still got to figure out who the best 5 are and where exactly they're going to be. I think where you want 4 of them to be. At least it seems like they know where they want 4 of them to be. But you got to figure out the center position, and then you got to have some time to get the pads on, and kind of get some chemistry going with all these guys. And it's just going to take some time, man. I think obviously you got great players out there, but it's still going to take DJ Moore and Keenan Allen some time to get used to running routes with each other, to understand, separation and breaking points and how to run routes off of each other. Because you draw it up a certain way, but when the ball snaps, they still got to understand, really, I just need to get to that spot. How I get there, there's some wiggle room in that, and trying to play off of each other, that type of stuff. So that's just going to take some time, man. Great players or not, that's going to take some time. So the fact they have a little bit of extra time to be able to do that because they're in the Hall of Fame game is only going to help them in the long run.
Well, yeah, so they get an extra game because of the Hall of Fame game, and I think that's very important. How long do you play them? How long do you play them in the Hall of Fame game, and then the preseason games? How long do you play Caleb and the starters? Would you, as head coach / general manager / running things for the Bears?
Yeah, I think they're in a bit of a conundrum, because I would want to play Caleb Williams as much as possible, right? Just to get him the rest that he needs, get him acclimated, get his feet wet, let him start to see some of these defenses, vanilla as they may be in the preseason, let him start to see some of these things, just, again, build that chemistry with his own guys. The conundrum is that you got so many veterans on this offense that don't need preseason reps. DJ Moore doesn't need a ton of preseason reps, new system or not. Keenan Allen doesn't need a ton of preseason reps, neither does Cole Kmet or any of those vets that are around Caleb Williams. And so the question becomes, how much time do they play on the field? And if they don't play that much time on the field, then he's not going to play that much time on the field, because you aren't going to put him out there with the backup O-line. You're not going to put him out there with the 5th, 6th, 7th receivers. You're not going to do that. He's not going to get anything out of that. And so just a little bit of an interesting dichotomy, because you want to get him the reps, but all these vets don't necessarily need them. You don't want to put anybody in harm's way, right? You don't need any of these guys going down in a preseason game. So it's a really, really tough situation to figure out in terms of how much you want to play them. I would imagine you want to get a series or 2 in that first game, but it wouldn't surprise me if Keenan Allen doesn't play a snap in the preseason. He's Keenan Allen. He's going to the Hall of Fame. It don't matter, right? I think they just got to figure out. They got to find that balance. But I think it would be a hard decision for me to make. I think it's going to be a hard decision for them to make. But I'm very intrigued by how they do go about it. I think they get more time. Like Flus, a lot of head coaches now, they get more out of practice these days. Those controlled environments, especially some of those joint practices where they can control the scenarios and say, okay, we're working on, 3rd down, working on 2 minutes, working on goal line, red zone, whatever. I think they can get more out of those practice situations sometimes, even than they can in games. So I think they'll lean on that probably a little bit more than they do live game reps.
I mean, you're going to disagree then, because I said I want him to play a half. That's about 4 series.
I want Caleb to play as much as possible. I think Caleb needs to play. I don't think DJ needs to play a half, and I don't think Keenan Allen needs to play a half. So when you take them out, for me, he's got to come out too, right? He's not getting anything out of throwing the ball to Simba Webster, and no disrespect to those dudes, but he's not getting nothing out of that. So if you aren't going to make those vets play that long, and I don't think you should, and I don't think they would want to anyway. When they come out, I think he has to come out, and that's what I'm saying. It's a conundrum, because I do think Caleb needs a full half. Would be great. Like I would love to see him play a half in all the preseason games, right? He needs those kind of reps, but those vets don't. And when they come out, he has to.
And that's I think. And here's where again, here's where the old school in me comes out. Like, get the hell off my lawn, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, look, we got a young franchise. He needs reps. He's not throwing to Simba Webster and all these other busters. You're gonna have to play. All right, you're gonna have to play. So make sure you're properly stretched. Make sure you're ready to go, because I need you in there with him for a half. Because if you want numbers, I need that chemistry, and I can't do it. It's not going to develop in 2 series a game, because one might be a 3 and out. All right, I need a half where he knows, all right, if this series screws up, I got the next series coming. I got the whole first half. is we got to have a tough conversation with some of those veterans. And not that I think they push back, but I'm just saying, like, you just got to let them know, like, I need him to be as comfortable as possible. We got the extra game, which gives us more practice time. These are live bullets. All right. And maybe the second quarter, you're not going to have first team defensive players, but they're still live bullets. And I need those more than I do in practice. So that's why, as Coach Eber, if I was Coach Eberflus, first, obviously I got to talk with the big guy and Ryan Poles, like, this is what I want to do. Because, it comes down from the top. He's only playing X amount, but that's what me personally, that's what I would do. Because I think that extra game is huge for this team. Because now you got 4 games, with live bullets as opposed to 3, like most other teams. So, so give me your thoughts, man. Everybody's talking about we got to get the other defensive end. This defense is not good. There's a glaring hole over there with DeMarcus Walker, with Booker, and he's young, and DeMarcus Walker really hasn't done a lot. Your thoughts on the other defensive end side, because I'll tell you my thoughts after, but give me your thoughts first.
I still think that Yannick is probably in the mix, on the table for something that they may end up bringing back. And I think that would be a good thing, right? I think you can bring him in, in those pass rush situations to give you a chance to, kick DeMarcus inside. You're probably going to kick DeMarcus inside on third down anyway. But if you got Yannick out there, then that helps a lot. I mean, when they signed Yannick this time last year, it was to kind of be the guy, right? We need you to be our premier pass rusher. That ain't the case now. We know who that guy is. We just need you to be the other dude. And I think that's an easier role to kind of come in and fill, right? He's familiar with the system. He knows the building. He knows the guys. And so I think that would be an easy addition for them to make, to kind of add to that, because you got to be able to create consistent pass rush from someone other than Montez Sweat. I like DeMarcus Walker as a player, as a person, as a leader. I like the energy that he brings. I like his ability to set the edge in the run game. I like his versatility, but he's not a proven, productive pass rusher with any, consistency. And so you got to get somebody that can do that other than Montez, because you got a back seven that could be as good as any in the league, but they are not going to reach their full potential if you aren't able to create a consistent pass rush. They have to be able to do that. So, I just think that they got to get somebody, right? And I know, you spent the 4th round pick and you're hopeful about what he can grow into, and that's cool, right? But that's a projection, right? You need something that you can bank on, because otherwise you're going to get Montez Sweat. I mean, he's going to get his double teams regardless, but you're going to have him double team and then guys unable to win one-on-ones. You got to be able to take advantage of a guy constantly getting double teamed like that. So you got to hope that they can add to it, and also that the guys they have can take another step. We saw Montez Sweat be a multiplier for those guys last year. Hopefully he can do the same this year.
Well, I'm glad you going down that road, because I was about to take us down that road. New defensive coordinator Eric Washington is one of the most well-respected defensive line coaches, not just the coordinators, but one of the most well-respected defensive line coaches in the NFL. His work is proven. Go look at what Oliver did back in Buffalo, turned him into a star. We saw Gervon Dexter last year. Without him, on the precipice of breaking out. The last 4 or 5 games, we saw a distinct upward trend with him. You got Billings.
Yeah, for sure.
Trajectory, yes. Then and now you got Montez Sweat with this guy. But not only that, you got Zach Pickens with Coach Washington. And not only that, DeMarcus Walker, and most importantly, you got a rookie. And it's extremely important when you get a rookie in his formative years in the NFL with a great coach, because once you're coached properly, I don't know, somebody one time said coaching matters. I don't remember who that was, but when you get coached properly, that stays with you. You're never going to have to unlearn that. And I hope give me your thought on him and how that, because if they don't sign it, maybe they do sign Ngakoue, okay, but if they don't, how is the step that we're anticipating Gervon Dexter taking, Billings taking, even Sweat taking under the guidance and the coaching of Coach Washington?
I think that was one of the most critical additions that they made to this entire team in the offseason.
That was my second most important acquisition. That was my second most important acquisition after Shane.
No, I feel you on that completely. because his ability to get the absolute most out of the guys on the front is something that the Bears need. They do have a lot of young talent that needs to be molded. They spent a second and third round pick in the interior of that defensive line last year. Both of those guys showed some flashes. They certainly have the potential. They certainly have the physical tools to be able to develop them. I think he's the guy that can get that out of them. I also like Travis Smith as a coach. Some people were down on him, and because of what the D-line was or was not doing. But I like Travis Smith and his ability to communicate with the guys. And so I think that him and Ron Washington will be just really, really good in terms of developing these guys. And if you can get Gervon Dexter to take that next step to become a difference maker, right? Not just a place filler, a guy that's there, but a difference maker, a disruptive force at that 3 technique, then you got a real problem on your hand as offensive coordinator, because you got Montez Sweat. He's going to do what he's going to do, but you got this guy that can be a disruptor in the middle of the defense, right in the face of the quarterback. That's a huge, huge problem, and that's also going to shorten that corner for the other end on the other side, right? It's going to shorten that corner because he's going to be able to bend the pocket in a way that allows them to kind of get around that edge a little bit faster. So, listen, I think that having Coach Washington there is extremely, extremely important. Like you said, whether they bring in another piece like Ngakoue or not, it's going to be critical that they continue to develop and continue to increase the production from the guys that they already have on this roster. Even guys like Dominique Robinson, I think that experiment may be nearing its end. But if Coach Washington can unlock something there, that's a guy that still has a lot of physical tools that are rare. You got to remember, this dude was a wide receiver, a quarterback. He ain't even been playing in that long. So if you can still tap into that, there may still be something that you can get out of there in terms of a rotational player. And then you can find yourself ending up with, a poor man's NASCAR package like the Giants used to run when they had 7-8 guys that could really get after the quarterback. And so, I think there's some potential there, but they really got to be able to tap into it, because this defense has a chance to be really, really good. I know we're talking about top 5, but I think if they're going to be a top 5 defense, they have to be able to disrupt the passer on a consistent basis with their front 4. That hasn't been proven yet, but they have the piece to do it, and I think they got the coaching to get them there.
Guys, again, we're joined by Herb Howard, he's the Bears beat writer for the Bigs. Talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I think Washington's going to have a huge role in it, and I think this defensive line is going to be is really ready. Big breakout season. Gervon Dexter, even Billings. I know Billings got extended, but I think he's going to get better. Zach Pickens is going to get better. And again, as I mentioned, I love the Booker situation where he's coming into the league being coached by someone is as respected and as good a defensive line coach as there is. Talk to me, moving forward, just fast forward a year. What do you think they do, with next year? I don't know how if DeMarcus Walker comes, because I look at it this way. Sweat, he signed for a couple more years. Pickens, he signed. He got 2 more years. Billings, they extended him. He signed. Those 2 linebackers, they're signed. They got the free agent safety. He signed. Jalen Johnson. He signed. Brisker. Stevenson. They're signed.
Gordon.
Yep. They're signed. All those guys are signed. All right. Would you think that there's a possibility that they go and they get in the first round next year? Because you have a lot of picks. You can jump up with a swap and another second, or third, probably a third, and get another stud defensive end to add to that rotation.
That's the place that they're in right now, right? It's a good place to get to. We're like, okay, now we just need one more piece, and you got the resources to be able to do it because you have so much young talent that is signed already. And so, yeah, I think depending on how things go on either side of the line for the Bears this season will dictate what they do in the draft, early first round, or not early first round, but just early in the draft in the first round next year. Hopefully they're not picking early in the first round. Because I think if the D line isn't as productive as they hope they are this year, then that's probably going to make the most sense. If the O line isn't as productive as they hope they are, then that may make the most sense. But yeah, defensively speaking, it's a good place to be in when you say, okay, we got our stud defensive end, we got these 2 young tackles, we got a veteran tackle that's a people eater in the middle and a run stuffer. Can we get this other dynamic end in the draft, that would be great because the secondary, like you went through all the lists, they're all in place. The linebackers are in place. That back seven is as good as any in the league. And so, yeah, I think they are just one piece away. Again, that's granted, you get a positive return on Gervon Dexter. He continues that upward trajectory. But even still, you still got him for, 3 more seasons. So, yeah, that's going to be a really nice place to be in if this defense is able to come together. And the last thing they need is just one more dynamic pass rusher on the opposite end of Montez Sweat, and they're sitting there with some draft capital to be able to do it.
Well, I do. I hope they jump up, and because they have the cap's jumping up next year.
2 twos.
Yep, yeah. You can package. We can swap and give you a second if we want. You know what I mean? Like jump 2 spots, and then give you a second round, whatever pick, and get our guy. Let's go to the other side. What do you do with Tevin Jenkins? He's up for an extension. Do you try and sign him now with maybe an incentive-laden contract? I know, although his agent probably wouldn't like that, because if he plays a full season and bets on himself like Jalen Johnson did, and he gives us 14, 15 games, well, that price tag just jumped up big time. What would you do with Tevin Jenkins right now?
I don't think he's gonna sign. I think they probably would try to sign him, but I think they want to see him play 15 games too, right? I think if you can get 30 starts combined out of him and Nate Davis, then you feel good about your guard situation. But that's a big if with both of those guys. But with Tevin Jenkins being in this contract situation, I think it's probably going to play itself out. If I'm Tevin Jenkins, I wouldn't sign right now, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're talking about a huge gap in whatever that number is going to be. He was just tweeting congratulations, or he was like, yeah, let's go about who's the guy from? Who's he from? Denver, whatever. He's got a 4-year, $80 million deal for a guard, and I think that's the kind of figures that Tevin Jenkins got his eye on, because when he's healthy, he is absolutely dominant on the field. He's absolutely, one of the better guards in this league when he's healthy. The question is his health, right? We know he misses a lot of games. He tends to miss 4 or 5 games. And if he can put together a season where he plays 15, 16 games, that price tag is going to go way up. So if I'm him, I wouldn't sign him. If I'm the Bears, I probably want to try to sign him at a discount. But they also got to be not fake, right? He does miss a lot of time. So I think they want to see him play, 14, 15 games as well before they like, okay, we know you are our guy for the next 4 years. It's a tough situation to be in. I think Ryan Poles will probably end up letting it play out. 1, because I don't think Tevin Jenkins will sign. But 2, we saw Ryan Poles do the same thing with Jalen Johnson. Jalen bet on himself. Ryan Poles let him, then you had to pay him. Yeah,
you did. And somehow I think he's happy to pay him, but it's kind of like a dual-edged sword. Like, I'm happy to pay you. I'm not really happy to pay you, but I'm happy to pay you because you showed out. So I'll gladly sign this.
I'm not happy I missed that discount last year, but I'm glad you're here,
Yeah. I if I were his agent, Tevin's agent, I would say, you know what, hold out.
Play it out, man.
Yeah, play it out in this way. There's a big payday, a bigger payday at the end if you can handle it. What's the likelihood of, because he doesn't have a 5th year because he's a 2nd round pick.
Right.
What's the likelihood of him bouncing if they do give him an incentive late, or even if he gets a bigger contract from someone else? Because all it takes is one. There's always going to be one team that's going to overpay, because that's what you do in free agency. You overpay. That's going to overpay for him and maybe put the Bears, challenge the Bears. Do you think he might stay here because he likes what they're building? Or do you think it's like, deuces, I need the money. I got a new baby. I got a wife and a kid. What do you think he may do if the situation arises where he gets a little more money from somewhere else at the end of the season if he doesn't sign early?
I always think they're going to take the money, man. I know we always say, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. Show me the dude that didn't take the money with. Like, you know what I mean? I think if it's a significant difference in what the Bears are offering and what he could get somewhere else, I think he's going to be gone. That's just the, fiscally responsible decision to make for him and his family.
As long as his name's not Jalen Brunson.
But I think he's trying. I think he's thinking about that on the back end, though. I know he left 113 left on the table, but I think he's trying to get back to the table again. I don't know I don't know. But I think that, fortunately the Bears are decent in terms of where they are with cap space, right? They're not in a bad cap position right now. And like we were just talking about, they don't have a ton of needs going into 2025, right? If things play out the way they hope they will play out this year, you're not looking at a team with a ton of holes going into 2025. Maybe they need an edge rusher, maybe they need one more offensive lineman, and then they still got some money to play with, right? They can find those guys in the draft or whatever, and they can spend in free agency. So if Tevin Jenkins goes out there and he has a Pro Bowl season at left guard and he plays 15 starts for you, yeah, that price is going to go up, but they should be able to meet that price because they've got money and they don't have a lot of places to spend it. You got to figure out what they're going to do with Keenan Allen. I think a lot of that's going to be determined by who and what Roma Doomsday is, but not a whole lot of needs and a whole lot of things that are going to need to be addressed. So I think they'll have the money. If Tevin Jenkins is the player that we've seen him be when he's healthy and he gives you 15 starts, pay him, bring him back. He's young.
What about
he's a mauler. Yeah.
What about the center position? They got Ryan Bates there. He started all 17 for the Rams last year. Is he the guy, or do you think next year they go to Shelton? Huh?
No. I was just saying he was the guy that started 17 for the Rams last year.
Shelton was.
Yeah, he came from the Rams. Bates was with the Bills.
Yes, my mistake.
It's all good.
But if Bates is a starter, for now, so do you think we go look for get someone in the draft? Are we good with him, resign, or say, hey, we got Shelton? Your thoughts on the center position, because those front three got to be in step, in sync, and no better way than to say, hey, let's lock these guys up so they're going to be together for a couple of years, because we know Nate's got one more year after this. This is his second year out of a 3-year, $30 million deal. Your thoughts on that center position?
Yeah, well, we know that Poles really, really likes Bates, right? So, he said in the spring that, he was coming in expecting him to kind of be the starter. Now, when it got to minicamp, those guys were kind of alternating. And you saw, Sheldon come in and he was getting some of the reps, and they were kind of alternating. They got to get that thing figured out, too, because you got a rookie quarterback. You want him to be able to develop that chemistry with the center sooner than later, right? And you need to pick one and then let them start to build. If this competition kind of goes throughout training camp, it's not going to be ideal for Caleb Williams in terms of getting the cadence down, getting familiar with the snap, getting, the mic.
Looks like we're having a couple little technical issues with my guy Herb. Herb, do me a favor. You can hear me. Do me a favor. Log out and log back in. It sounds like you're underwater. We'll see. We'll have Herb. If you can hear me, Herb, log out and log back in. I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Yeah. Sounds like you're underwater. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have him log out and log back in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How fired up are you? How fired up are you guys? Because I'm fired up. Okay. I am fired the freak up big time. All right. There's a lot. I mean, I'm already looking at. So Coach T was he put something up on Twitter the other day, like how do you handle his blitz, and man, like that stuff is my crack. I'm like, oh, easy, base right, fan left. All right, or you just yell base. And then they had a guy coming off the corner. I'm like, all right, the back's got we call it the joker. The back's got the joker. Or you can go base right, fan left, where the tackle gets the joker, guard gets the defensive end, the nose fans left the center's fans left to the nose guard, and the Mike who's blitzing gets picked up by the running back. So those types of things are exactly what I love to see, and it got me, man. Just the X's and O's of that are awesome. See, my guy, we got him back. There we go. There we go. No, don't worry. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, you sounded like Max Headroom. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Max Headroom, but
no, I think that might predate me a little bit.
Yeah. But so Shane Waldron's got a plethora of weapons. How do you see him? Do you think he's able to stay disciplined and say, hey, let's bring Caleb along a little bit, then run the ball? Or do you think he kind of says, hey, let's kind of push the envelope a little bit? You know, your thoughts on how they bring Caleb along, because now he's signed, sealed, and delivered. All right. And now everything's in place. All you gotta do is start practices. So how do you think Shane Waldron goes about this with Caleb? Because I'll leave it at that.
I think they spend the next month and a half putting as much on his plate as they possibly can. Like, just throw as much at him as you possibly can. See how much of it he can retain. See how much of it he can go out there and actually implement in live action. And that goes back to, the reps in the preseason, how many he's going to get versus, what he needs. So I think you put as much on him as you can. But what I really hope from Coach Waldron is that he has the flexibility, right, to call a game plan, to devise a game plan that is tailored specifically week to week. What do we need to do to win this week's game against this defense? How do I put my players in the best position to succeed against this defense? How do I attack this week's opponent? And that may be different from last week. We may run it 40 times one week and then throw it 40 times the next week. That's okay, right? You should have a quarterback right now that's capable of doing either, right? And so you want to bring him along, and if he shows you, hey, I can handle everything you throw on my plate, then let him have at it, right? You got a pretty relatively softer schedule those first 9 games. So if you can take advantage of that, that part of the schedule, let them throw it around a little bit, but do it in a way that is tailored to what needs to happen for this week's game plan. That's always my sign of a good coach. Your ability to change the game plan week to week for what we need to do in this week's game, even half to half, make those adjustments, those types of things. I know a lot of coaches, man, there's a huge ego there, right? If you get to that level of coaching, all of them think I know the best way to win a football game. And that's cool. Got a ton of respect for that. No problem. I understand that. But you got to have a little bit of flexibility to say, okay, well, maybe it's not about my system per se. It's about what these players are capable of doing, and can I put them in position to do it, and how do we attack this week's opponent? So that's what I'm really hoping that Coach Waldron is about, more so than, hey, do this my way. What do you do well? What does this defense not do well? How do we attack that?
That's a good analysis. Yeah, I hope so. And he's shown that he's been able to adjust and use various personnel packages, which is great. And that, how much do you think DeAndre Swift in that running back room really helped? Because in that first 10 weeks, 9 games that we talked about, like I really had a problem trying to find a third loss. All right, I can find 2. Okay, maybe a third, but that still leaves us at 6-3. And if we split the last 8, that's 10-7. And now you're fighting for the division. Now you're fighting for a playoff spot, and that's kind of what I'm expecting. Talk to me about that first half. How much is that run game going to be relied on? Because this first half of the schedule, those first 9 games, are up against teams for the most part that really won't exploit you to the max, like a San Francisco will if you screw up, like a Green Bay Packer team which would if you screw up. You have a little more flexibility. If you screw up at one particular point, you're not going to get burned like you will later in the season.
Yeah, I think that running game is going to be critical early on, right? And that's why you want to get that O-line settled down as quickly as possible. You got DeAndre Swift back there. Khalil Herbert is a pretty good running back. Like you got a decent stable of guys back there that can be productive. That's some versatility. DeAndre can catch it out of the backfield. You should be able to use those guys and kind of lean on teams. You should be able to maybe establish the running game early, set up some passes later, or maybe get out to a lead and then lean on that run game a little bit. So they should be helpful for those guys early on in that season because, like you said, you laid it out perfectly. I mean, full alignment with you. If they can get to that 10th game at least 6-3, there's no reason that they can't get to 10 wins, even if they just split the back half and go 4-4. And that should be enough to get you into the dance. Now, if they don't, right? If they don't take care of business in that first 9, it's going to go bad, right? Because if they aren't good enough to get to 6-3 against those first 9 teams, then they probably going to end up looking at 3-5, 2-6 on that back 8, and that is not this season that went way left. So, I think they lean on the running game, but I think they have the ability to. I think DeAndre Swift is a dynamic runner. He hits the hole. He's decisive. He's got the ability to take it the distance. He's not a super burner, but he's got the ability to get there. So I think you lean on that running game as that offense continues to develop, as they continue to gel, as Caleb continues to get his feet wet. Lean on that running game, because once it gets to that second half of the season, you got to be ready to roll and firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, we do, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. Again, we're joined by Herb Howard. He's a Chicago Bears beat writer for the Bigs, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Last question before we let you go. Any word you hear for anything else on the well, probably 2 questions. Anything on the stadium? Any developments? Because that's another thing, because the sooner we get to a stadium that's indoors, the better this offense becomes, the better this defense becomes. And man, oh man, oh man. And I know all these guys won't be here because it's going to take at least 3 years, probably 3 to 5 years to get that built. But you're most likely going to have Caleb here. You're most likely going to have Rome Odunze here. You may still have DJ Moore here. And you're still going to have some of those youngsters whose game can be enhanced with an artificial surface. Have you heard anything, any updates regarding the stadium situation?
Well, Kevin Warren did meet with Governor Pritzker. I don't know exactly when that happened, but they did have a meeting to continue to talk about the possibility of getting some public funding to mix in, and so they can reimagine whatever they're trying to do on the lakefront. I've told you this from jump. I think all of this is smoke and mirrors to get leverage back in the Arlington Heights negotiations. And I think ultimately that's probably where it's going to go. But I think they continue to explore this lakefront possibility, and I guess the longer they explore it, the more you have to accept it as a real possibility. I don't know how that meeting went with Governor Pritzker. I know early on he wasn't feeling it at all. He didn't even come to I don't think they say he wasn't invited to the dog and pony show they did at Soldier Field a couple months ago. Like that, I don't even know what that was for real. But I got a ton of respect for Kevin Warren and what he's doing in this process. I thought he was dealt a really, really bad hand in terms of bringing him in after you had bought the land and without negotiating and settling on what the taxes would be. And then he's got to go and try to close this deal when y'all already bought the land. I don't have any leverage now. And so I think he's gone about it diligently in terms of trying to create some leverage for himself in these negotiations by exploring other site possibilities and kind of revving up all of the momentum that, hey, we're going to go somewhere else. We're fine. We'll do something else with that land. I don't really believe it. I never really have. But I think he's done a great job of building some momentum to get people to think that they may be actually going somewhere else. And that can only help you in negotiations. And you've heard Arlington Heights kind of come around a little bit lately and say, okay, well, let's get back to the table. We're willing to come down on this, come down on that. I think that's all he really ever wanted to do. And so I think Kevin Warren has done a really, really good job of kind of creating some leverage where he was brought into a situation with absolutely none.
Personally, would you rather them stay on the lake and have it, if the renderings are even close to, or if the stadium, I should say, is even close to the renderings? All right, like this would be dope, dude. That would be that'd be. Oh my god, that's tight.
Hard. That's hard. That's hard for sure.
This one right here. I mean, now you look out into on the skyline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's man. Would you rather them try and do something like this, or do you want Arlington Heights like a lot of people do?
You're talking about world-class real estate. If you're talking about the lakefront and the Chicago skyline, that whole entire area is just world-class real estate. So if you can do something there, great, right? There's the nostalgia of it. It's supposed to be there. That's where the Bears play. That's wonderful. you're never going to be able to solve the logistical issue of getting in and out of that stadium. Unless you're going to move the lake somehow, there's nothing you can do to make it easier to get in and out of there. So this idea of, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then when are you going to shut down Lakeshore Drive to be able to make these adjustments? To, you know what I mean? Like when are you going to shut down Lakeshore Drive to do that? So I don't really know that it's a legitimate possibility. Those renderings don't have any place to park there. You know what I mean? There's a lot that needs to happen if that's a realistic possibility. I know. Listen, I'm a Chicago kid too, born and raised here. I get the nostalgia of the Bears playing right there on the lake. But if it goes to Arlington Heights, some people will cry about it for 10 minutes and it'll be over. It'll be perfectly fine. I'm not going out there. Yes, the hell you are going out there. Like, knock it off. Everybody's going to go out there. It's a clean slate. They can build whatever they want. They are not limited by any structures or land area, nothing like that. You'll have ample parking. You can get in from either side. I think it'll be great, man. I think ultimately, you look around the league, you got so many teams that don't play in the city that they're named for, right? The Giants and the Jets don't even play in the same damn state that they named for. You know what I mean? Like, that stadium is in New Jersey. Dallas, they in Arlington too. Like, it don't really. San Francisco ain't in San Francisco. Like, it's just not. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, man. So if you can have this kind of blank slate and build whatever you can imagine, I think that would be phenomenal too. It'll allow them to kind of build around it and create whatever they want to create around it too, because they have so much space. So I think ultimately that's probably where it's going to go. Would it be great for that stadium that you just put up on the screen to sit there on the lake? Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But the logistics will still be a nightmare, and I think it's more likely than not that they're going to end up in Arlington Heights.
All right. I personally would want them to stay because I don't really. And everyone talks about, well, the Caskies, the valuation of their franchise to go up. I'm like, I don't give a damn. Like, that don't affect me. That don't affect. I don't give a rat's ass if they're worth $6 billion now or $8 billion. Good for them. I still want to be on a lakefront. Trust me. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can get to other land. You can go a little further south on the other side of McCormick Place and get like off of 31st Street. Hell, you can even get by the old Michael Reese. I make that a parking lot, have shuttle buses like they do. They have shuttle buses up along the lake, from the other parking lot. You can do that. I personally would just love to see it, and not for bear weather, but just for nostalgia. And that would be like the dopest stadium in the NFL because you're looking that north side of the stadium
to see the skyline from inside the stadium.
The greatest skyline on the face of the earth. Dude, that'd be hard.
It would be. No, you get no pushback from me on that. That would be super, super hard. Like, no doubt about it. I don't have no objections to that. It's just the logistics of it, right. And they've already bought the land out there, and I just think ultimately that's what they're gonna do. I've said this a lot. US Bank Minnesota Stadium is my favorite stadium in the league. I've been to almost all of them. I've been to Allegiant in Vegas. I've been to SoFi. Been to Jerry's World. Those are hailed as three of the better ones, and they are. All those are super dope. But my favorite one is US Bank Stadium. I absolutely love what Kevin Warren and his team did with that stadium out there, and they put that's in the middle of their downtown, right? They were kind of constricted with some land area, and what they were able to do with it was phenomenal, man. I love that place. The natural light that it gets in there, the sight lines that they have, the acoustics, I love everything about US Bank Stadium. So I really believe that Kevin Warren could build something phenomenal, be it on the lake or wherever. I'm confident that he can do something dope, but I'm with you, man. Like, it would be great for that building to sit right there on the lake, and it would just add another amazing component to what's already the best skyline, just the best area. I mean, it's the lakefront, man. It's right there. It's downtown Chicago. You got the skyline, all of that. So that would be phenomenal, man. And I think Kevin Warren is he's selling it. He's selling it pretty hard that he really wants to go there. He talks about how much he loves downtown. He lives downtown. I think all of that is true, but ultimately, I think it's just about trying to gain some leverage in these negotiations.
Man, I know, because I was 2 weeks ago today. So the 3rd, I was out on the boat with my cousins, and I took, if you might have seen it, I put that picture of the skyline. We're on the lake. Dude, I am not bull jiving you, bro. Like a little tear came to my eye, and it actually just went down. I'm like, this is Chicago. We in Chicago or what?
Yeah, no, it's legit.
Beautiful.
It's legit, and that's probably the best place to view it. Is the two best places I've ever viewed the skyline from. It's dope sights from everywhere, from south, from north, wherever. But when you out on the water and you look back onto the land and you see that, it's like, my God, like especially from that south point, like when you kind of between like the museum and like Navy Pier, like that just looks amazing, man. Anywhere off of 31st on north, that like it just looks amazing. The other place that I've really enjoyed to see it was one of those helicopter tours, those helicopter rides, man. It looks amazing from there too. But again, from the perspective of being east out on the water and then looking back over it at night, that was a super, super cool experience too. But man, you can't beat it, man. So yeah, I don't have nothing against them putting it right there. It would be super, super dope. It's just a logistical nightmare.
Yeah. Like I said, do that, bro, and that would be the tight. Imagine concerts. You know what I mean? You go see a concert there, and you look, man.
Those aerial shots on like Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, or Thursday Night Football. Those aerial shots that they would do, as they come in and out of commercial breaks.
Yep,
that would just look, man, man.
Got me fired up. Just got goosebumps.
that would definitely be as good as it gets. As good as it gets for sure.
Hey, Herb, great stuff as always, man. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Most definitely, man. I always appreciate you inviting me on. It's always fun talking ball with you, man. You can keep up with me on Twitter at HerbHoward411. You can follow me and my work at It's The Bigs on Twitter and thebigs.us online. So appreciate you, Shawn. It's always fun, my brother.
Great stuff, buddy. We'll be in touch soon. I'll see you soon, man.
I'm
most likely going to see. Probably heading out to the Hall of Fame game, and then I'm going to San Francisco, and I'm going to try and hit Texas, Houston, and or Phoenix, in addition to all the home games. So we'll see.
Fun, man. I'll see you.
All right, man. Bet we'll talk soon. Yep. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That's Herb Howard, who covers the Bears for the Bigs. Talking Bears football, man. Love talking football with him. And he's a Southside guy, you gotta love it, and it's his football acumen is pretty damn good as well. So I like talking football with him. It's always a great time to hang out with Herb, and I always appreciate his time. He's a busy guy, and he's in demand. He's in demand, and I'm very happy for him, very proud of him, and glad to call him a friend. And I love his perspective. Again, we don't always agree on stuff, but you don't have to. That's why we're different people. But I do love having him on, and I respect his opinion a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fired the hell up. We're talking about this team. We're talking with a lot of expectations, and I'm trying. I'm trying to. I don't necessarily want to temper my expectations because I'm not going to. Okay. I have high expectations. I expect double-digit wins this year. Period. All right. Period. End of story. And if we don't get that, I won't say the season's a failure because we could end up 9-7, 9-8, sneak in one of the playoffs and get to the divisional round. I don't want to say it's a failure. How can you say it's a failure? Because we got to the divisional round and lost. All right, even though we didn't get 10 wins. So it's a possibility. So I'm not going to say that it has to be 10 wins or it's a failure of a season because that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. And Mr. Shorty has a little different view. 13-4, first team to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. I will tell you what, Shorty, you have not wavered from that stance in months. You haven't. I will give you mad props if that does happen. You have not wavered one iota. You've been saying that for a long time, and I respect it. So definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to training camp. like I said, we're going to try to get to the Hall of Fame game, which is going to be pretty dope. Yeah, it's going to be pretty damn dope. I really, I'm excited about that. And it's here. Football season is here. Hard Knocks is here covering our Bears. The nation is going to be watching us. And, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll quote the great John Madden. NFL is just better when the Bears are good. And now the nation gets to watch the Bears. They get to watch, the top quarterback in the draft. They get to watch one of the top young receivers that just came out of the draft. They get to watch this young quarterback with two of the best receivers in the NFL in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. They get to watch a young quarterback with two very, very productive tight ends in Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett, and with a running game. All right, you're setting it up, and we've talked about it. We've mentioned it. This is probably the best situation a number one overall quarterback has ever stepped into in NFL history. So now, how soon can he get acclimated to the system? Can he get comfortable with the system? That's going to be the determining factor. And we have time. All right, we've buffered ourselves with a great defense, a top 5 defense, which I think can be a top 3 or 2 defense. Okay, Eric Washington is going to be a big help in that as well. So, I just think that, there's a lot, hats off to Ryan Poles. All right, the way you developed and constructed this team. All right, the defense is going to be strong. All right, the defense is going to be strong. You can stop a lot of people. Okay, and that alone allows us. I talked about it before. All right, other teams may not be able to exploit us as easily as some of the teams that will play in the last 8 games of the year. All right, Carolina might not be able to exploit us. The Patriots, all right, the Redskins, the Commanders, all right, the Cardinals. They may not be able to exploit us, and this will allow us to grow. And Caleb to get a lot of those trying times, those growing pains out of the way while still being in the games because of our defense. Eberflus, you have a big task here and keeping this defense as productive as they were last year. All right, keeping this defense as aggressive, if not more productive. Because the one thing that I love, okay, I love when defenses can score. All right. A lot of the teams that I played on, our defense was amazing. We had awesome offenses in high school, in college, professionally. Okay. Here with the Thunder and the Chargers, especially with the Thunder, our defense. Wow. It was funny. I believe in 06. I think we played 10 regular season games in 06, and I think had the offense not scored, all right, we would have had a 6-4 record, maybe 7-3. Had an offense, and we were undefeated that year. If our offense didn't score 1 touchdown, not 1 touchdown, we would have gone 6-4, 7-3 in 06. Mind you, we scored a ton of touchdowns. I was the MVP that year. We won obviously won that, went down, played for the national championship, won that. But man, our defense was just ball hawks, ball hawks from Pace to Gambino to Brad to Ragona, all right, to Sparacino to Mintz to Ronnie to Easy to Bryce to Joe Recchia, all right, DB, all those guys and the backups. And the cool part about it is a lot of times, because they came over from a team that folded, these backups we're talking about were starters in other teams. So the drop off was minimal to none. So our defense was good, very intelligent. All right, Ronnie and Easy, Lamont Gilliam is easy, who's easy, unbelievable. All right, Bryce. The communication they had in the secondary was second to none. So this is where I hope this Bears team is now, where the defense is so dominant. So dominant. I'm really expecting them. And here's where I need Coach Eberflus to be kind of a jagbag and say, hey, listen, we need to score points. We need to harass the quarterback. And if that's the case, our job's not done. My job is not to stop us from sacking the quarterback. It's your job. It's the offense's job. All right. I need to see some just brutal swarming of this defense. Okay. Very reminiscent of the 05, of the 85 team, very reminiscent of the 06 team, where defense can anytime, any part of the game, any part of the field, our defense could take it to the house. Fumble recovery, a strip, a pick six, whatever. Okay. This is the challenge that Eberflus has. And they gotta stay stout on third down. Those are the big plays. Big time plays on third down. So I'm fired up, man. I don't know if I am fired the hell up because I'm looking forward to a team. Like, as I said, I think the divisional round is as far as they go this year. And if they go further, I'll gladly be wrong. I will gladly be wrong. Okay. I just think the divisional round is as far as they go. And next year, now we're looking at NFC title game or bust. Okay. So, guys, got me fired up talking Bears, fired up talking with Herb. Listen, ours is come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic, for talking Bulls basketball with me here. And I want to thank my man, Herb Howard, who covers he's a Bears beat writer for the Bigs. All right, for coming on talking football with me. And I want to thank you guys, people in the chat, for coming on and joining me. The love and the support, I appreciate. Mr. Shorty's in the house, Patty Lara, all right, B Smooth and Brian. All right, a lot of the other guys, King Booker World, Cornelius, Shorty, my guy Junior, Shawn. Who else? Plank was in the house. I appreciate that. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Aunt Moss, thank you so much. I appreciate the love and the support. What else? Cornelius, we mentioned those guys. Jay Grizz, don't want to forget him. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Cornelius Squalls in the Mickey Ficky house, the Vet Lee, all you guys, I want to thank you for the love and the support. All right, so for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, our executive producer, Elliot Baez, social media guy, Clarence Council III, and my co-host, Absentia Maya. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Guys, have a phenomenal rest of the day. A lot less of the day since I came on at 12:30, but have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys next week. I will most likely have some clips from training camp as they start this week. I'm fired, man. I'm telling you, I'm fired up and I get goosebumps just thinking about it because it's here. It's here. We waited for it for so long. Okay. The Civil War was such a situation that took a lot out of us. I forgot Monica, my niece Monica, she's in the house as well. All right. I apologize. But yeah, the Civil War took a lot out of us. A lot of people lost friendships over it. But now we all need to get back to being Bear fans and hopefully those fences can be. All right, guys, have a phenomenal day. As I told you before on my Facebook lives, make sure that you tell your loved ones you love them. Okay. I just lost a cousin this weekend and he and I hadn't talked in a year and I never got to say goodbye. So it's real. The suddenness and the finality of it is painful. It's a tough one that I gotta swallow, and it's having a good days and bad days. All right. So make sure that your people that you love know that you love them, because you don't know when the sand runs out of that hourglass, and you just don't. All right. Well, anyway, folks, I'm out of here. I'm going to get something to eat. I am hungry. Guys, have a great day. Your boy, the Superback. I'll be back next Wednesday, and probably Wednesday and Friday starting next week. All right. Your boy, the Superback. Sports owners, I love you, and I appreciate the love and support. I am out.